Crimson Trace now offers a line of tactical-oriented products, including open and closed reflex sights, battle sights, and a robust line of rifle scopes, purpose-built with maximum features and versatility. Find out more at crimsontrace.com.
Keep your powder dry, lock, stock, and barrel. We'll talk about anything related to guns. It's Tom Gresham's Gun Talk. Call now, 866-TALK-GUN.
All right, we're back with you. Tom Gresham. If you want to join us, that part's easy. Just call us at 866-TALK-GUN or Tom Talk Gun. Obviously, you can follow me over at guntalk.com. Probably the best way, if you really want to stay informed throughout the week, because things are breaking, stories are happening all the time. I kind of work as an aggregator site, if you will. Call me the Drudge Report of guns, but I put it all up on Twitter. So if you follow me on Twitter, I'm at Gun Talk. That's how it works on Twitter, at Gun Talk. You don't have to do anything else on Twitter. Just do that. And I will put stories up throughout the day, all week long. Why would you do that? Well, because you want to be informed. Because you want to be effective. Because you want to participate in the 20 in 2020 movement that I started, which is I'm asking all gun owners to devote 20 minutes a day throughout the year 2020 as we head toward the 2020 elections. 20 minutes a day. Part of that is going to be spent just going online, seeing what's going on, looking at the news. Hey, my Twitter feed. There you go. Lots of articles, things that are happening. And then sending a few emails, maybe make a phone call. Basically just getting involved. And then finding out where things are happening and committing to showing up. You have to show up if we're going to be counted, because the world belongs to those who show up. As part of this whole thing, it's, okay, how are we going to talk to each other? How are we going to communicate? How are you going to stay informed? Well, here's a guy who's got an idea. Rob Swaay joins us right now from 2AC3. Hey, Rob, how are you?
Hey, Tom, I'm doing great, thanks.
Okay, so first of all, tell people it is the number 2 and then the letter A and then the letter C and then the number 3, 2AC3. What's that all about?
Right, so the C3 stands for Command, Control, and Communication. It's a military acronym that basically has the elements of what a successful mission takes. And, of course, the 2A stands for Second Amendment.
Okay.
So the idea there is for us as a community, as a Second Amendment community, to all get together and coordinate with each other so that our activities have the maximum impact.
Because if we do it individually, that's not bad. But if we coordinate and coalesce and meet at one place and show up at the right place at the right time, now we're starting to be effective.
That's it. So I was really inspired by the sanctuary movement that happened in Virginia. And it was amazing that independently, thousands of citizens in each county would show up at the Board of Supervisors meetings, and they would urge them to pass these resolutions supporting the Second Amendment. And I saw that there was no leadership happening. There was some loose organization happening on Facebook. A couple gun rights organizations were trying to get the message out. But it was really individuals stepping up and taking action themselves and coordinating themselves. And I thought, I need help figuring out who my Board of Supervisors are, where the meetings are happening, who else is going and what I need to do. Wouldn't it be great if there was a website or app that could help others in my situation do the same thing? Look at current events. What do I need to do? Who do I need to call up? What politicians do I need to pressure and urge? And give some coordination to the grassroots movement, because the left is incredibly good at coordinating grassroots movement. And conservatives have been traditionally very poorly organized, very bad at using technology. And now we're at the point where I think that changes. Well,
the technology makes it possible. Before, you really didn't have a way to coordinate. I mean, what are we going to do? Newsletters in the mail? I mean, forget that. I mean, now it's happening. It's not even happening day by day. It's happening hour by hour, and it's different in each state. There's a different group. There's different, call to action. Yeah. How are you going to, and we keep talking about this all the time, how are you going to know when there's a rally? How are you going to know when the committee at the legislature is going to start hearing the bills? Step one in this whole thing, my 20 in 2020 and everything else, step one is to be informed, because if you're not informed, nothing else can happen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's exactly it. And
so how does this work? What is this thing you have created?
Right. So what I was going to say is what's unique about each state and county is that they've all got their own challenges, and they've all got their own groups who are trying to coordinate and organize. And there's really no national coordination, and there's no local coordination happening that are talking to each other. So what 2ac3.com is it's a website and an app where you log in and you select your state. And then once you register, you select your county. And in your county, there'll either be a local organizer or there'll be an opportunity for someone to step up and become a local organizer. That local organizer is in charge of communicating what's happening in your area to the members of that community. So if there's an event that's happening, if there's a vote that's taking place, if there's a 2A politician that needs support or is considering running, that news gets disseminated through that local organizer. And then the members of that community have the option of attending events or participating in action items like calling their senator or delegate. And they can coordinate and message each other through the app. So it's a way of tying everything together at the local level with the idea that there will be local groups forming in-person groups, in-person meetings. I actually just went to one over the weekend, and it was about 20, 30 people who joined. We had a couple speakers. We became aware of the current status in Virginia, what was happening with the bills,
right?
And we signed up to take more action. So that's what I'd like to see more of. So
2AC3 is not an organization. It's actually a structure where organizations can communicate or people can communicate. How am I doing?
That's exactly it. It is a platform, a technology platform to help organizations either form or existing organizations to bring their members on and build in the grassroots infrastructure that we need.
Because, I mean, one of the things we've talked about, and you and I talked about this before you got on here, is that we in the gun community, we use Facebook a lot, but we also know we have the sword of Damocles holding, it's above us, because at any given time, Facebook can just say, no, you guys can't talk to each other about guns. But more than that, and here's the sneaky part that a lot of people don't know, on Facebook, say you got a group of 10,000 people on Facebook. When you post something on Facebook, and you know this, I just want to make sure people understand. If your group posts something on Facebook and you got 10,000 people following you, that doesn't mean that all 10,000 see it. You may only have 500 of them see it, right?
Right. Yeah, there's three things that are happening with Facebook. First, you've got hundreds of small groups for each county in a state, and they're each organizing in their own way, and there's no communication between that. So that's the first problem. Facebook is great for awareness, very poor for coordination because they can't get their message out. The second thing, as you mentioned, is conservatives tend to be censored, and those groups can be shut down. You have a group of 100,000 people, gone overnight.
Well, I mean, and literally, I mean, we've seen it where a group's Facebook page simply disappeared overnight because some 24-year-old at Facebook looked at it and went, no, I don't think we ought to have that. Click, it's gone.
Yeah, of course, Facebook and Google, YouTube, they're all very against conservatives and individual freedom, and they will censorship and they'll change their community guidelines to make sure you violate it if you get too large and too powerful. And then you also have an issue where a lot of these conversations that we're talking about what do we do if all of a sudden they make our guns illegal? How do we respond? What if the sheriffs don't enforce the law? These types of conversations make government very nervous, especially when we're talking about large gatherings of people like we had in Richmond. Right? So all of these conversations are monitored. They're getting tracked. It becomes a very precarious situation for people who are looking for what happens if we actually need to use our firearms, if we need to enforce the Second Amendment, what happens there? So these type of conversations, it's not the type of conversation you want to be having on Facebook. So it's nice to have a platform that's private and secure and is designed to have these type of private conversations.
So 2AC3, and it is just those numbers. It's 2AC3.com. Do individuals join? Do groups join? How do people get involved?
It's a platform to support grassroots movement. So at an individual level, you can simply register, find your county, and start talking with folks in your county. See who the local coordinator is, see what activities and events are happening, and join up to an existing group. But also, if you're a gun rights organization, either local or national, you can set up your own group on there, bring your members on, and have a way to communicate, push out notifications, push out alerts and updates, create your own events, share your own news. It functions a bit like a social network in that respect. So you become the coordinator if you have an existing organization.
Fascinating. And it's up and running now, right?
It is, yep.
All right, there it is. And it is literally 2A C3, like Second Amendment, and then C3 for command. What is it? Command, control, and coordinate, or?
Command, control, and communicate. Yep.
Communicate. There you go. All right. Hey, I really appreciate it, Rob. Thank you for letting us know about it and letting us be one of the first people to help you get the word out about 2AC3.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
All right. You take care. And there it is. All right. So, question for you. 20 in 2020, are you in on that? Also, question, are you buying anything? I just ordered, yeah, I know, it's stupid. I just ordered a scope. And let's see, what else? I needed some low rings. And yeah, I know. I go online and buy stuff just like everybody else. There's things in my local store doesn't have. And when we come back, I want to tell you kind of one of the weird stories. I went to a gun store and nobody was there when we come back.
For 25 years, Crimson Trace has led the industry in laser and light technology and customer service. Now, Crimson Trace is proud to offer electronic sights and rifle scopes for tactical, target, and hunting applications, with the same Crimson Trace offer of free batteries for life on all products. The new rifle scope line is also backed by an unconditional lifetime warranty from the brand that you have trusted for over 2 decades. Find out more at crimsontrace.com.
Perhaps more than any other landscape, wetlands embody the life-giving abundance that nature has to offer. And perhaps more than any other organization, Ducks Unlimited is working to ensure that our continent's wetlands not only survive, but thrive for generations well beyond this one. The time is now to band together. The time is now to rescue our wetlands.
For 36 years, the U.S. Sportsmen's Alliance has been fighting to protect hunting, fishing, and trapping for sportsmen from coast to coast. Today, we are under constant attack from extremist animal rights groups who want to end your ability to hunt in the U.S. Join us to protect our sporting heritage and our way of life outdoors. To join or for more information on how you can help, go to ussportsman.org. That's ussportsman.org.
For more than 70 years, Timney Triggers has been enhancing the shooter's experience. Whether it's a local competition, a day at the range, or even the hunt of a lifetime. Setting the standard in aftermarket triggers, Timney is now producing more than 170 models of triggers for bolt-action rifles, shotguns, AR rifles, and semi-automatic rifles. Proudly made in the USA since 1946. Find your new trigger at timneytriggers.com.
Back with you, 866 Talk Gun will get you in there. We're open lines. If there's a gun you want to talk about, or a question you want to ask, or a rumor you want to start, we're the right place for that. I'm Tom Gresham. Let's go talk to Dave. He's on 3, driving through North Carolina. Hey, Dave, you're on Gun Talk. What's up?
Hey, Tom. Just wanted to give you an update from the road, and this is an update about the St. Lawrence County, New York County and Town Second Amendment Sanctuary group that met with the County Board of Legislators on Monday of this past week.
In New York. Okay.
Correct. Right up on the Canadian border, way far away in distance and in mindset from the downstaters.
I get it. So what happened?
Well, we packed the place just about. I think there were, the newspaper reported 70. I counted a few more than that. But there were over a dozen speakers, which was enough to make the chairman decide that they needed to limit speakers from the usual 5 minutes to 3 minutes, which got my hackles up because I had 5 minutes prepared.
Oh, boy.
But through the kindness of other speakers who donated their remaining time to me, I was able to get my message out. And we basically let the Board of Legislators know that we, the law-abiding gun owners of St. Lawrence County, would love it if the County Board of Legislators would hop on the sanctuary bandwagon so we could tell the Emperor, Andrew Cuomo, and all of his lackeys and minions where they could go. And basic upshot was they said, well, we'll think about it. So we're going to have to go back there again a few times, I believe, to get this mission accomplished.
Exactly.
Night,
well, you know what they're saying? They're saying, we hope you go away and we don't hear from you again.
They might be thinking that, but I talked to some afterwards. I stayed till the whole bloody mess was over because a lot of the 2A supporters left at intermission when they were told they could leave if they didn't want to stick around for the rest of the nasty business of a commission meeting, you know?
Right.
So I stayed, and I talked to some of the other folks who were there, and it's going to be a process. It's not going to happen overnight. We're going to have to do like you say. We're going to have to get out there and give our 20 minutes every day for this year and make it happen. It's going to be grassroots. It's going to be for real. It's not going to be Michael Bloomberg money. It's going to be our own blood, sweat, and tears that will make this happen.
Describe for me, if you would, the sense of the place when you guys are there, and there are some 70 plus of you there, and people have taken time out of their lives. They have driven there. They have shown up. They're putting up with the bureaucracy of this meeting. What's the feeling of the 2A people who were there?
They were confident, but they were subdued because it's the first time we really have gotten together. Our county is full of, it's a rural county, a lot of farmers, a lot of people who work outdoors, hardworking people, and, of course, a lot of hunters and shooters of, various kinds. And they all came together. So you had quite a mix of people in the crowd. And they were, facing the Board of Legislators, who, of course, all wear suits and ties when they come to their meetings. And I thought we had their attention, although one of the speakers who had maybe a better view of some of the legislators and the other people inside the roped-off section, if you will.
Right.
He indicated that he didn't think they were listening to one thing that was being said. Now, that being said, I didn't get that impression. However, it remains to be seen what they what they might do. We do have a 9-6 Republican advantage over the Democrats in our county, so that bodes well. And we'll just have to play this out because if they're not going to give it to us on a silver platter, we're going to have to work for it.
They're not. Nobody's going to volunteer this stuff. You have to work for it. You have to demand it. You have to show up again and again. I'm going to make a couple of suggestions, and you probably are already ahead of me there. But when you do it again, if you haven't done it already, find a way to capture the names and email addresses of all the supporters who show up, whether you're passing around a tablet that everybody can put it on, some way that you can go back and touch all these people again. And the second part of that is what you just said is you are going to have to go back again and again because these elected politicians, they're going to sit there and think, well, that was a one-time deal. And then if you show up the next week or the next month and then the next month, and all of a sudden they're going, okay, this is for real. This is actually something that's going on. We better pay attention, even though I'm not sure about these guys, except that when you get to a rural county like you're talking about, they actually know each other. They know the farmers. They know the pharmacists who are showing up there. They know the people. They're actually, and it's different from a huge place where you've got millions of people where you may not know the people who are showing up, and they may think of them as those people. It's different when they're looking out there and seeing the faces of the people they actually do business with, isn't it?
Yes, it is, and that's one of our greatest strengths is that we tend to know these people. In fact, the chairman, who I had a little discussion about that time limit with, he is a former law enforcement officer, and we spoke on Friday, and he's on our side. He spoke at a Second Amendment rally right after the New York State SAFE Act was passed, and he hopes that we can make this happen, and he's offered some good pointers like you just did.
Yeah, and it's a great point. If you go talk to the people who are on the board, on the supervisory commission, whatever the unit is, they can often make suggestions of how to be more effective. Well, if you guys want to do this, here's something you may want to try. And so you go meet with them over coffee sometime and just say, look, if you have any suggestions of ways that we can do better at this, a lot of times they'll go, yeah, here's a thing. And all of a sudden, it's not you guys doing it. They become part of the whole thing, and you're all working together. So I just got to congratulate you. I mean, that is great. Please continue, and please keep us posted if you would.
I'll do my best, and it would be great if we could all come together, because we're all under the gun, so to speak, that we're under the thumb or the boot heel of the downstaters who do want to take away our rights, our constitutional rights, even to assemble. So we're still doing that, and we're going to keep up the fight. 20 and 20, Tom. I love it, man.
There you go, Dave. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Yeah, this 20 and 20 idea, I think it may have some legs. I wasn't sure. I just came up with this thing out of nowhere. But I'm really encouraged by people who are deciding, yeah, we will do this. It's not a lot to ask. Everybody has 20 minutes. I mean, if you can't do it every day, you do it whenever you can. But if you can do it every day, that's great. First thing is to just get informed. Every day you go online. You go look at my Twitter feed. You look at ammoland.com. You find your sources. Be careful about your sources, though. Make sure that you're vetting them carefully. And then once you're informed, you send an email or two, or you make a comment or a letter to the editor, or just contact some friends or put something back. You know what? You could just take an article that you see and then repost it on your Facebook page, and then you share that. It's all about getting the word out. 20 and 2020. I think that's how we win. We'll be right back.
Clips, magazines, bullets, cartridges. What's all the fuss? Here's the guy with the answers, Tom Gresham.
All right, we love to give away stuff around here at Gun Talk. We're doing another of our big giveaways. This one is a bunch of SIG stuff, SIG Sauer. The people make really nice guns. If you go to guntalk.com/win, guntalk.com/win, WIN. Giving away, let's see, prize number one, a cross-bolt, their cross bolt-action rifle. That's their cool, brand-new folding stock bolt-action rifle from SIG. This one's in 6.5 Creedmoor. Giving away a BDX system along with a Kilo 1600 rangefinder. That's a cool scope and a rangefinder that talk to each other, so it does the automatic adjustments for you. Giving away a P320 X5 Legion pistol and also a P320 X Full Romeo 1 Pro. We're giving away a lot of stuff. All right, just go to guntalk.com/win. You can enter. It's free. There you go. 866-TALK-GUN. We'll get you in here. Let's see here. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. I want to make sure we still have Jackson. Yeah, Jackson is on line 5 with us out of Tulsa, Oklahoma. Hey, Jackson, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. How old are you?
I'm 12.
Okay, so what do you want to talk about?
So I want to talk about the Ruger, the Diamondback AR-15 pistol.
Okay, AR-15 pistol. What caliber?
9mm.
All right. So what are you thinking? Do you guys have one?
No. See, so I was trying to get your opinion on it and see, do you own one or have you ever shot one?
I have not. I don't own one. Have shot various ones. Let me just say this. First of all, we're going to back up. First of all, for those who are wondering, this would be owned by your parents and not by you, because you cannot, at this point, buy a pistol yourself.
Yeah.
Not at your age. Here's the deal. First of all, I take it you are a shooter, right?
Yes.
What do you shoot now?
I'm not 100% sure on that.
You don't know what guns you shoot? Do you go to the range and shoot anything?
Oh, I thought you said where do I shoot?
No. What do you shoot? What kind of guns do you like to shoot?
I'm trying to get into AR-15s. Haven't shot one yet, but I'm thinking this is a good starter. But because I'm younger, I'm trying to get the pistol instead of the actual AR-15. So I'm trying to get the shorter barrel.
Okay. All right. Let me throw a thought out here. And again, we're assuming this is going to be something your parents buy and that you get to shoot, which is perfectly legal. I am going to recommend going a different way. Okay. I'm going to recommend that you go with a regular modern sporting rifle, a regular AR-15 with a collapsible stock in .223 cartridge with the full 16-inch barrel, not a pistol version. You're going to find it easier to shoot. You're going to find it to be very versatile. With that collapsible stock, you'll be able to make it fit no matter how tall you are. And you'll have it for life. AR-15 pistols are kind of specialized, and there's a cool factor to them, but it's a bit limiting, and they're really more for self-defense. And when you go out to the range just to shoot, I think you're going to find it to be not as accurate and it's going to end up not being as much fun. And with an AR-15 with shooting .223 cartridge, you can shoot it from 3 yards out to 900 yards with it, depending on what you want to do. And I think you're just going to find it to be more versatile, and they're very affordable these days. And I would encourage you and your parents to get a full AR-15, get you a couple dozen magazines for it because you're going to shoot a lot, and just have some fun that way.
Okay, well, thank you.
All right, thank you. Appreciate the call, sir. Let's see here. Let's go talk on line 4. Mark's with us out of Hampton, Virginia. Hey, Mark, what's on your mind, sir?
Tom, I was just listening when you were talking at the beginning of the show about the home invasion. One of the things that I've taken the precaution to do is we have a storm door, and I told my wife always keep it locked. They have to get through that door first, and that won't give you a warning because they can't. That way, they can't just prop the door open and kick in your interior door. I bought a security one at Lowe's. It has a glass with a membrane in it, and it's got upper 3 locking points with long screws in it, so you can't just yank it open and you can't bust the glass. But inside of that, on the interior door, I bought a kit online. You can find them. They're door hardening kit. Basically, it's a plate. It's about 3.5 feet long that goes on your door jamb. With 4-inch hardened screws, and then you got plates that go around your lock assembly and your hinges, and it makes it really difficult to just kick the door in. So even if they get through the outer door, they have a hard time getting in. So if nothing else, it severely hampers their ability, gives you plenty of time, and will probably run them off. I don't live in a fancy neighborhood where they're going to get thousands or even tens of thousands of dollars with items. It's just going to be the average thug punks in the neighborhood that are probably not going to be interested in working that hard to get in to get a very minimal amount of stuff.
I think I just got to say, I think you are right on the money with your thinking, which is, you simply make it harder for them to get in. You discourage them. If they get tired of trying to kick in a door and they're not getting anywhere, they're probably going to bail out. But the other thing it does for you from a personal security standpoint of just keeping you and your family safe is it gives you time to react. And that's where having an alarm system, or I like the blink system, something that alerts you, hey, there's somebody walking up the driveway, or there's somebody walking up to the front door before they get there, and you go, what's going on? Now, what you've done is reinforce the door. If they're having to kick and bang and make all this noise, you have time to wake up, call 911, get your gun, hunker down in your room. Don't go looking for trouble. I mean, that's one of the things I've tried to get people to understand. Don't go looking for trouble. If you think somebody's breaking in, lock your bedroom door, hunker in there, stay on 911, make them come to you. Don't you go to them.
Yep. So, and we also do have a Ring doorbell and everything, so that helps. But before I had the doorbell, I had all this other stuff I'd done to, like I say, try to make it more difficult to discourage them, but nothing else. because I'm usually always have my gun on me or beside me when I'm at home. I'm pretty much carry all the time, except at work where they kind of frown on that. But still, if you're not thinking about it and somebody just busted your door in, well, they've kind of got the advantage, even though you're armed right there. I'd rather get some kind of warning that somebody's trying to get in, and I can at least be prepared.
I agree. I mean, a heads up like that makes a huge amount of difference. I like the way you're thinking. You've done very well with that. And look, I appreciate you sharing that with us. Excellent ideas. Reinforce your door. Lights, those security lights that come on, motion detection lights are excellent. A Ring doorbell or the Blink system, something like a dog. Jim says dog. Yeah, dog. Dogs are excellent. Nobody wants to go. I don't care how big or small the dog is. Nobody wants to go get in there and get bit by a dog. Not a bad idea. What else do you do? How do you make your home secure? And what conversations have you had with your family about situations like that? 866-TALK-GUN. When someone leaves you their gun collection, you may want a few, but what do you do with the rest? How do you sell them? Who do you call? Well, I call Johnny Dury at Dury's Guns. Whether you're selling one gun or 500, they'll tell you what it's worth and write you a check. Simple, quick, easy, fair. I trust Dury's Guns. Give them a call. DurysGuns.com. Hi, this is Tom Gresham from Gun Talk. America is losing critical wildlife habitat at a rate of 1 football field every hour. It's happening on the Louisiana coast, but it's critical to all sportsmen and conservationists. These precious wetlands provide winter habitat for more than 10 million ducks and geese annually, waterfowl that migrate north through dozens of states. Don't shrug it off. Get involved. You can help. Visit vanishingparadise.org.
In 2020, Brownells continues its tribute to Eugene Stoner, the legendary designer of the AR-15, AR-180, and more. The What Would Stoner Do 2020 rifle answers the question of what Stoner would have done with modern lightweight materials. Inspired by another Stoner design, Brownells BRN 180 lower receivers help complete firearms optimized for folding stocks or pistol braces. Visit Brownells.com today and pay tribute to one of America's greatest firearm engineers.
We were talking about home invasions, and along with that, we also talk about carjackings. Those seem to be increasing. You have to assume that a carjacking is a life-threatening situation. They turn into kidnappings, they turn into rapes, they turn into murders. Here's a situation. Story just out of the news today. Let's see. Oakland County Sheriff pulls over a fake cop car. The guy's got his SUV all dolled up. I'm looking at the pictures of it. I mean, it looks like a cop car. He's got shields on it, big decals. He's got lights. He's not a cop. Which reminds me, a conversation for you to have with all the members of your family, especially the youngsters who are starting to drive, particularly the girls, particularly the women in your family. It is not unheard of for creepazoids to put lights on their vehicles or just up on the dash and pull over women at night. Here's the rule. Okay, here's the deal. If you're driving along at night, particularly if you're in an isolated area, man or woman, cop car comes on behind you, lights are flashing, keep driving. Slow down, go speed limit, but immediately call 911. Call 911 and say, look, this is where I am, and there appears to be a police car behind me. Can you verify that, this is real? Meanwhile, you keep driving. And, and there are some police officers who are going to get mad that you didn't pull right over. Tough. We'll work it out later. And you go to a lighted area, gas station, bank, someplace where there are lights, parking lot, you can pull over there. But get on the horn with 911 and call them. But don't go pulling over on the side of the road in some isolated part of the world out there until you have verification from 911 that this is a real police officer back behind you. This stuff is real. It happens. You have people with real mental problems. This guy, this is actually Oakland County, Michigan, I'm looking at. This guy had a cop car. I mean, it looks like a cop car. And he went to a lot of work to make this thing look like a fake cop car. You have to ask yourself, what were his intentions? Nothing good that I can think of. Mike's in Helena, Montana on 5. Hey, Mike, got a range report for us.
Yes, I do. After the church shooting in Texas, I have a range here at my house. And what I did was I tried to replicate putting a target and then shooting from about 50 feet.
You did the Jack Wilson drill.
Right. And my whole point is going to be, we might think we're practiced up enough, but we're probably not. From 50 feet, I was shooting about 90% torso. Now, the shot he made obviously was incredible, but what that told me was even though I am a concealed carry holder and I do practice, I need to start upping my game just a little bit because that clearly I'm not as good as I thought I was.
Interesting. Were you practicing shooting from while you're drawing and shooting?
I was practicing from the concealed draw,
okay.
and that was going to be my other thing was I carry normally a SIG 365,
mm-hmm.
and all of my holsters for carry. My point is going to be that all the holsters are the same. They're all an outside the waistband pancake at about the 4 o'clock. And I find whether it's my SR-22 or my 45 or my 365, they all come from the same spot. They all kind of work the same way.
Right.
The only one I don't do that with is my LCP, which is my gun like you that I carry when I can't carry a gun.
Right. The gun you carry when you can't carry a gun, right?
Yep.
Here's
from
a thought
the draw,
for you.
I think I was fast. Not that fast is the goal. Steady
mm-hmm.
and sure to me is the goal, but just accuracy-wise, I wasn't as good as I thought I was going to be.
All right, I got a drill for you to do. First of all, for everybody who is serious about this, you must have a timer. You must have a shot timer. Not a phone app, but a real shot timer. They're not that expensive, and it lasts forever. And so, it's got a delay. You push the button, it's got a delay. When it goes beep, then at times, and what you're trying to do is just get faster and better. But at the same time, you have to be accurate. That's your point. Go to the office supply place and buy you a big stack of 3x5 cards. Just regular old 3x5 cards. And you put them on the target horizontally. And that's where the head is. You got to be able to hit a 3x5 card. Actually, be better if it's smaller, but if you can hit that, you can make a headshot. And that's your target. It's not the torso. You want to hit a horizontal 3x5 card and put all your shots in there. If it means slowing down, so be it. The hits are more important than speed because you can't miss somebody fast enough to make them stop shooting people, generally speaking. But I got to applaud you, Mike, for going out and doing it and finding out. And yes, if we don't test it, we'll never know. We walk around with this idea that, hey, I'm pretty good. I've taken some lessons. I practice. And then you go back to do the test and you go, ooh, that's harder than I thought. And I'm not as good as I thought. Thank you for the call. A hint for all of us. None of us is as good as we should be. And almost none of us is as good as we think we are. At least if you're not actually testing it, whether it's in competition or just going out with a buddy and trying it one-on-one and trying to beat that other guy. How do you test it? How do you know how good you are? Here we go again. We've seen this before in other states. This is California, Yuba City, California. The Sutter County Sheriff is alerting concealed carry weapons holders after a public records request prompted him to release some of their information. Sheriff Brandon Barnes says that the San Francisco Chronicle, that is a newspaper, That's an old form of communication, by the way. The San Francisco Chronicle recently put in the request for information about concealed carry permit holders and their applications. The sheriff said he personally declined to release much of the information, but was advised by the county council to provide some data. So he provided the permit numbers, the name of the permit holders, and the dates of issue and expiration. Exactly what the Chronicle is using the information for has not been stated. We've seen this in the past, where newspapers actually published the names and addresses of people who had gotten concealed carry permits. These newspapers are laboring under some idea that they are working for a higher cause. Shine the light on it. People should know who has concealed carry permits. People should know if their neighbors are carrying guns. It all sounds so lofty until you get what happened in these other cases where a parole officer, he has a concealed carry permit. He was away from home, and one of the people he deals with, criminal, goes to his home when his wife is there. The parole officer's not there. Criminal shows up at his home. His wife's there. Fortunately, nothing bad happened. We had one woman who was in hiding from an abusive ex-husband. This guy's been trying to kill her. And the newspaper, and she got a carry permit because she was afraid. And the newspaper published her name and her address. And she had to move in the middle of the night. I think possibly efforts like this by the media to dox, that's the new term for document, release documents on someone, to dox people. And it's interesting, they would say that doxing is terrible, be a horrible thing to do. At the same time, while they're actually doxing concealed carry holders. But I think it comes from their belief that nobody actually needs a carry permit, and it's a bad idea for anybody to have a gun or to have a gun for self-defense or to carry a gun. And never even imagining that they might be exposing abused women to lethal threats. They might be giving away the location of people who are in hiding from people who are trying to kill them. It's a very weird situation. But when you start off with the idea that, well, we know better, we're smarter, we are the media after all. If you actually were smart, you would be part of the media. I've actually had that almost said just that way. We simply know better. And then you get the whole you people idea. And they never even consider that their actions are putting people in danger. All of that to say that, look, yes, of course, you have a concealed carry permit. You just should assume that at some point that information will get out. Always conduct yourself with operational security in mind. Be careful. Talk to your family about things like that. There are bad people out there. Unfortunately, there are bad people in the media who will give away your information as well. 866-TALK-GUN. You got a range report? Tell me what you've been shooting. We'll be right back.